Welcome to Sotheby's. My name's Christian Spofforth. I'm head of the jewellery department here in London. We've got a sale coming up on the 24th of March, starting at 10 a.m, and I've selected a couple of highlights I'd just like to show you. As you can see, the galleries look absolutely fantastic at the moment. We've been working for this series of sales in conjunction with JJ Martin, who is creator of La Double J, the Milanese luxury brand. Everything is really, really bright, mood brightening, feels fantastic in here. The lots I've chosen, I think, work really nicely in conjunction with her brand. She does a lot of heritage stuff, sustainability. This reflects really well in jewellery. We often see pieces from the early 20th century, the mid 20th century, being repurposed. So a couple of pieces I've got here. We'll start in the mid 20th century. This is a citrine and sapphire brooch. They used a lot of these beautiful citrines in the mid 20th century, obviously coming out of the Second World War. There was a lot of platinum that had been used for the war effort, so gold came back into fashion. These really rich colours and the slightly lower value gemstones in the citrine itself became more popular. You get these very warm colours coming out. The cushion cut citrines here are really bright, really balanced, sort of that burnt orange gold colour, which is really nicely reflected in the beautiful brilliant cut sapphires. The very natural form of the flower around it is curled beautifully in this very highly polished gold. We're sure this is going to be a very popular piece on the day. We then have, from slightly earlier in the 20th century, this beautiful piece by a jeweller called Palcho, an Austrian jeweller. He was very, very famous for his carving in hard stones. This is the bonsai tree form, beautifully made with a black enamel and a coral red enamel here, set with these delicate little diamonds. The form of the pot is absolutely beautiful, recognizable to anyone, shows the trend. Very early in the 20th century, bonsai trees were very popular, and now we find them a lot in the office and at home. I think one of the special things about this piece and what Palcho was very famous for is these nephrite flowers, the leaves at the top, the very, very delicate carving. He was exceptionally good at carving these pieces. Again, one of my top highlights for the sale. Sticking with the early 20th century, we have this beautiful brooch by Carrera Mazzuera. These forms that they created was moving very much away from the formal Victorian jewellery to these naturalistic forms, very feminine, golds, enamels being delicately put onto it. Two forms of enamel on here, which is beautiful. The plique à jour enamel in the leaves, which when held up to the light, you can see light coming through really beautifully. And the enamel on the dress here, which is very, very delicately done. Where the gold rises, the enamel is slightly paler, and where it dips down into the carving, it's a slightly darker colour, giving this beautiful naturalistic form, really feeling like a dress. The next one I've chosen is a modern piece, so completely very, very new. This is probably made in the last sort of 5 to 10 years. The diamonds are exquisite quality, very high colour and clarity. It's made by one of the top jewellers of the last sort of 30 or 40 years, Graf. Everyone knows them for the quality of their diamonds. But the form for me, I think, is interesting because it's very much an old style. Early 20th century in form, with these wonderful articulated diamonds underneath, which catch the light and really show the form and design of something inspired by 100 years ago is still very relevant today. We then stick with another modern piece. This is by the jeweller Jar, which many people know as one of the great jewellers of the 20th century. He's a very contemporary jeweller, created different styles which have been replicated many times over the last 10 or 15 years. There's a lot of jewellers out there who are always trying to capture his style, but there's something about his pieces which really stand out from the rest. These are very, very light in weight because they're made of aluminium, an unusual metal to use, difficult to work with, and he creates this absolutely amazing colour by anodizing the aluminium with these really, really vivid colours. Very lightweight, very desirable, and very easy to wear. The last piece I've chosen is this fantastic necklace. Really, really bright colours, reflected well in the sort of setup we've got here, set up by JJ Martin. These colours are really unusual for the time, really, really bright. Normally you would expect to see something like this just set with diamonds, but to see this massive array of colours is really, really fantastic. Particularly unusual, very well made, nicely articulated, and really gives a nice summery spring feel to the sale. So those are just a few of the highlights I've selected from our sale, which is on the 24th of March, starting at 10 a.m. Over 250 lots in the sale. Obviously for this sale, we really would encourage online bidding. If you need any information, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us via sotheby's.com or giving us a call, and we'll happily field any questions. Thank you.